Hello everyone, we are Geeks Not Nerds. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And today's topic comes from Eric. And this time Eric's doing the same thing I did last time. He picked the topic. I don't know what it is, so I get to completely improvise this and have no thoughts thought out ahead of time. Eric, what would you like to talk about today, sir?
So I want to talk about exactly. I don't think we've done this before exactly. I think we've touched on it here and there, but I don't think we've ever done a full GNN on it. I want to talk about comic shops. I feel like this is an interesting thing to revisit every couple of years.
Sure.
Helping the industry,
I know a little bit about
the industry.
That. I did a whole documentary about this.
Yeah. But are they good or bad?
Yeah.
Are they helping comics or are they hurting comics? And that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of my topic.
That's a great topic.
Because one of the things you discovered on your, or not discovered, but like one of the things about the documentary is how many different shops now are very much fighting back against the like dingy, like your girlfriend and your mom doesn't want to come in here.
How many of those stores made a big deal out of we're well lit?
Yeah. But these people, like that stereotype still exists. They don't know that. Like the people that they're trying to attract don't know that.
You think they either assume that if they walk into one, it's going to be like that, or that when they find one that's not, it's the exception?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And a lot of those stores also carry so many games and things that they don't even... I think a lot of people probably don't even think of comic shops as just straight up comic shops.
They're just
like
stores.
Yeah.
No. There's a shop I used to go to down in Florida that like had comics. But then, like, the other side of the store was just all board games and, like, role-playing supplements and things like that. And the back was all tables for said games.
A lot of them are that way. We visited some of those.
It's seen as a comic shop, but it's really just a wall of comics over here.
Yeah. Well, you say that, though. You say that, but their bread and butter is probably not the games. You know, the games probably help get people in. It's maybe their second bread and butter, but that might be a shop, and different places are different, but that might be a shop where... Yeah, you look and you just see a wall of comics, but a lot of comic shops' bread and butter, of course, is pull list. And that's not... You're not going to see that.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I think one of the things that's come up a couple of times recently, like when we talked about GameStop and when we talked about Walmart,
right,
is comics aren't in the public eye. Mm-hmm. They're not there and easily gettable. I guess trades are... Although Walmart and places like that don't sell trades.
Not a lot. Every now and again you'll see one, but they don't have a section for it. It's not with all the books.
I feel like comic book stores are almost holding comics hostage.
Yeah.
From the general public. Like, it's secluded off over here. And I know there's various reasons, like I'm not saying comic stores did this, but I know there's various reasons that we got to that point.
Well, I know you have a nostalgia for... like singles still being sold at grocery stores and things like that.
Gas stations is what I remember.
Well, and we had, and I remember them more at grocery stores, but I remember a couple times finding them at gas stations and wishing they were in more gas stations, where I'd be like, oh man, how come I can't have this all the time? Mm-hmm. But you and I argued a little bit when we talked about the GameStop thing, about how, or some video, I forget where it was, we don't do this a lot, but every now and again Eric and I sit down and make a video, and we argued somewhere about whether or not that would be all that helpful for getting regular people to buy comics again, and you thought it would, and I thought it probably wouldn't make much of a difference. I still hold to that. I don't think it would make that much of a difference.
I think good for kids.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm afraid kids are kind of... I don't want to say kids are beyond comics. I think that the kids that read comics, it's because their parents read comics. I think more often than not.
So you think we are beyond the age of the kid wandering in the store and being like, Mom, I want this. Mom, I want this Spider-Man.
I do. I think we're past that.
You think so?
I really do.
That's unfortunate.
I think it's all about the screens now, man.
Well, then we should just close up shop. Like, stop making comics.
Yeah, I think... I'm not saying that there aren't going to be plenty of kids that still grow up with comics. I think that it's a gateway drug to regular reading. I've always said that. I think that remains true, but I think you have to get it in their hands in the first place. I don't think there are going to be anything like as many kids as when you were a kid or I was a kid that stumble upon it themselves and want to do the legwork of actually reading the thing. I think there's just too much else vying for their attention. I think that's where we're at. I could see the argument made, maybe... kids are going to be more likely to stumble upon comics and get into wanting to read them on a tablet or on a phone. Maybe. I'm not even totally convinced of that. I'll tell you this much: when I ran a junior high school club in the early to mid 2000s as a public service thing at the school that my mom worked at.
Mm.
It was hard to get more than 6 to 8 kids to come, and that was back in 04, 05. I wasn't finding a bunch of kids that were reading comics. If they weren't back then. Yeah. What makes you think they would be now? A physical, because you're talking about picking up a physical single issue and reading it.
And that's also right around
or trade
them from Walmarts and places like that. I think
sorry,
Walmart was I said that's kind of right around when we're starting to pull those from stores. I don't think even by then they're in gas stations and like convenience stores. Walmart, I think, might have been the last holdout.
Not as often, but I got to tell you, I didn't primarily buy my books that way either. I mean, I
didn't either.
Even in the 90s, like that's. Like, you would find them in like, it would be exciting if you're already into comics, but if it were possible to get the statistic on that, I'd love to know how many kids actually got really into comics because they found them at gas stations. I mean, when I was a kid. Like,
yeah.
I know that was happening more with newsstands and things in the 50s and 60s, but even when I was a kid, I don't know how much we were seeing that.
No, and I guess I'm not, it's not like every time I go in, like I was picking up issues and things like that.
Where did you get most of your comics?
I get all of my uncle's DC comics.
Right.
And then just here and there, like we're out and like I'm good or something. And my parents.
See, I had a unique kind of childhood where I was in the jug business. I was in flea markets all the time. That's where I found my books, and that wasn't a place that I was seeing a lot of kids. So I assume my experience is pretty unique.
Mm-hmm.
I think more kids were probably. Either, again, had parents, like, I don't know how much things have really changed, like, except how many people are reading now, right? Like, parents that would bring their kids to a comic book shop specifically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of thing.
Well, and I guess most of the kids that, going by your logic of at this point, kids that are going to read comics have parents that read comics, a comic store wouldn't stop them.
No, and I still see kids in comic shops.
But you know what you don't get?
But it's because their parents bring them, obviously.
Yeah.
And when I say their parents bring them, it's not because they begged them, it's because, I mean, they might now, but it's because they either still read comics or they grew up with them and they like the nostalgia of going to the shop. I think it's the same thing as old school video games, man.
Mm-hmm. But you don't get, like, moms buying comics.
Yeah, you do.
No. I mean at, like, the convenience store or whatever, where, like, they put them near the register and then, like, it's like, yeah, I'll get this for my kid.
No, we don't have.
They're also not cheap enough to warrant that anymore.
Now, you could make the argument that compared to many of the other things that kids are asking, this is not the direction I thought this conversation would go. And I have a question to ask you, unrelated to the kid thing here in a minute, but you compared to a lot of the other things that the kids are asking for, it is probably somewhat similar to. Well, my kid really wants this toy, but I only have enough money to buy him, like, this $50 or $1 comic, right? Like $4 in some ways is the new $1, right? Like,
yeah, but is it that much cheaper than a lot of toys? I mean, action figures, I guess, are like $10 now.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of things that they're, actually looking for and asking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You could push them more if it was $1.99.
No, I'm not saying they shouldn't be cheaper. I'm just saying that relatively, I can see that argument, but you're right, that's probably not happening as much.
Okay, so what's your question outside of the kids?
My question is, how much is it holding the industry back on the whole? Just still having comic shops. And this is coming from someone that loves comic shops and used to, at the end of every GNN, say, support your local comic book store. There's not even any particular reason we don't do that anymore. I just fell off of it at some point. But, like, I've always supported local comic shops. But it is a question, and, like, I think a lot of us thought that the industry itself was going to be very different by now than it is. I think in 2009, 2010, when we were getting closer to day and date, and a lot of people were afraid that it was going to totally shut the comic stores down, and we thought that digital distribution had the potential to do to comic shops what it did to bookstores.
And it could have.
I think it is, yeah.
But day and date is the same price.
Yeah.
And that's helping no one.
No, except it's keeping the comic shops open, and
yeah. I'm talking about consumers.
Say it again.
I'm talking about consumers.
No, that's true. It's not. Yeah, it's not. So on the one hand, like, there are two sides to this, right? Like on the one, like you can condemn Comixology and Diamond for this, You can also praise them for it, right? On the one hand, it's keeping, it's making it so that if you want to read comics the week it comes out, you're gonna have to pay the same price to either not own it and just read it on your phone. Like William said in the documentary, why do we call it a digital comic book? You wouldn't call a picture of a hamburger, it's a picture of a hamburger. You don't own it. But you're going to pay the same price for that as you're going to own the physical copy.
And a lot of physical copies come with digital codes anyways.
So which begs the question, why not just do that? Well, because you got to get out of your house and go get it, I guess. And it takes up space on your shelf. Maybe you don't want to collect, But, so that's the con side. The pro side is it keeps the comic shops open.
Yeah.
It makes it so that if you don't want the industry to change yet, it's not going to for now.
It's one of the only instances...
I can't begin to tell you when it happens, and this is a thing we've talked about and tried to predict. But
it's one of the only instances that I'm aware of like, ethics in business, where, like, we knew if we put digital books out for what they should be priced, which is 99 cents, it would destroy the comic store industry, and so we just didn't do that, because we didn't want that.
I think it's going too far to say ethics, though, because what you have to remember is is that the place that controls physical controls digital.
Mm-hmm.
It is not in Diamond's best interest to lose all of...
Yeah, I guess Diamond goes under now, or doesn't it?
Yeah, like, is Diamond going to survive on just digital sales? How can you call that ethics? That's just them staying afloat. No, that's why they keep the stores open, because they have...
That is literally their job.
Yeah, because they don't want to lose their accounts. They're going to have 3,000 accounts that are going to go away.
That makes complete sense.
No, of course.
Oh. Well... Yeah. The one time I thought business was doing something good, it was just self-serving.
No, it's good for the consumer that hates change and wants to collect single issues. We've talked about this ad nauseum, but we must bring it up again. The idea that the natural place for comics to go is to get rid of singles, go just to trade, if we keep monthly issues going, have them in digital in the first place and way cheaper, and then if you want to own them, you can buy them in trade later on. Mm-hmm. That's the natural way to go. I understand people that don't want it to change, but I think that there are, and I love singles, and I collect singles, and I would feel weird about it. At the same time, and I know we're going to sound like we're talking in circles because we bring this up a lot, but at the same time, there are a lot of bad things about holding on to that outmoded, antiquated, I will call it antiquated even though I buy singles, month-to-month serialized way of putting out issues and telling stories. You talk a lot about the forced, like, 6-issue story arc model, and how much you hate that and that needs to go away. And we talk all the time about, like...
Except for Bendis, he needs it.
He does. But we talk all the time. But yeah, but why can't you have a 3-issue story arc? Why can't you have a 4-issue story arc?
We have gotten better about that in more recent years.
Where it's not always 6.
Yeah. No. The one that makes me angry, which starts with Marvel now.
That's not fair. We do it. We do 4 also, but it's just this square, like, it's got to be the same number. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We started this with Marvel Now, and it makes me furious. No one talked about it. We started doing 5-issue arcs so that we could have 5-issue trades, but charge the same for the trades. So, like, it's $20 trade, but 5 issues instead of 6.
And that's what I was getting at.
Screw you, consumer!
Is that, they want to,
If you're going to go month to month, I want more variants. I want the 1 issue, the 2 issue, the 3 issue, the 4 issue.
Yeah.
Just all over the place.
Because people are buying month to month, we like to try to find ways to make you pay more for less, and to pay for things that you don't need, but your collector mentality tells you have to have. And... I feel like this is the best place to mention this, even though this isn't about stores as much as just the industry itself. But it is about stores because we wouldn't have singles the way we do if it weren't for comic book stores. So this is all interconnected. I would like to predict that within the next year or two, one of the big 2 is going to go to $4.99 almost across the board. I think we're getting close to that.
You think we're getting close to that?
I really do, because I think it's Marvel before it's DC.
No, absolutely.
But they're both doing this to some degree. We are more and more seeing excuses to make people pay an extra $1. And every time you've seen that happen, you've seen us eventually stop making excuses and just making that the price. We're training the consumer. Yeah, they're just $5 now. And I think we're getting there, and I don't think it's too far around the corner. In fact, when we did the documentary, I think a lot of the shop owners and some of the customers that we talked to were nervous that was coming, and that was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So in some ways, I'm almost impressed that we haven't gone there yet. But I think they're afraid that people are going to revolt. And you and I keep saying, no, the way to really bolster the industry is to go backwards, not
comics are $1.99
to go back to $1.99.
Yeah, if comics are $1.99, I think
even $2.99 I'd be really happy about right now because we haven't done that in quite a while either.
Well, DC did at the beginning of Rebirth.
I know, but it's been a while now.
But that's because they were double shipping and they were making you buy a book twice.
I know, but they still double ship and now they are $4.
Are they?
I think. Am I wrong about this? Let me see if I have anything back here.
Recent
DC
Batman?
yes, I do. 1 second. Sorry. Goodness. Because I don't want to be wrong about this.
Because Batman's definitely double shipping.
Yeah, and it would be the one that they would most be able to get away with it with. Yeah, it's 4. It's $3.99.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And that's just a regular issue. That's not some special issue.
That's ridiculous.
So even if they're only doing it with like their big books, they are doing it.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep. No,
and I think we're gonna get to 5.
I think 5 could kill it.
Do you? And that would not be great for comic shops.
Nope. You know what goes away if we lose comic shops?
Yeah.
Like 4 million variant covers. Mm-hmm. Who cares about swiping through a bunch of variant covers?
And that would be, that's the thing is, there's a lot of things that would be good about losing singles. Mm-hmm. As much as I like to collect singles. Mm-hmm. I also think it's possible that you could see some kind of compromise thing where we still do one-shots and things that way. Like, you might still see some singles. I don't know.
Some, like, special stuff where it's like a 40-page, 60-page. Like, you wouldn't make it a graphic novel, but it's... I also think there's a possibility of comic stores not going away and just becoming geek hubs.
Yeah.
Where they're just... Like they've got back issues. Because you always need... Because that is... I guess we never talk about that. Where do you get your back issues of comic shops go away? Where do you do your back issue?
The internet. You know, and shows. I mean...
But a lot of those shows are people that own comic stores bringing some of their stock.
Well, that's true.
Like, what happens?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question.
What happens what happens to back issues at comic
This
stores?
is not a thing I've ever thought about, and so I'm thinking aloud. So I might go back to this video later and say, Cap, that was a stupid thing you said. Mm-hmm. If comic shops go away, do back issues just as a thing suddenly increase in value? I wouldn't think so because of the internet market. Mm-hmm. But I guess I don't mean comic shops. I mean if we stop making them. If we don't make singles anymore and we just made trades, are singles just as a thing like more of a novelty item, even though there's like 6 bazillion of them?
I don't know.
And maybe just in general they all get hyped up by like a quarter or something. Is it possible?
Maybe.
I've never thought of that. But
I think it's possible that you can have stores that would have back issues, because that is the thing. Is the back issue market is the market that is exclusively there for the comic book fan. No, but
it's not the thing that keeps the shops open.
No.
So even if we kept shops around for that, they wouldn't necessarily stay open.
Well, I'm not saying for that, but I'm saying that's the that's the
only place you can get them.
That's a clientele that already is shopping at the comic book shop.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I'm talking about mainstream normal people.
I see what you're saying.
Like that is a clientele that cannot go anywhere else and is not afraid to go into comic shop. If you're looking for back issues, you're going to a comic book shop. You're the only people that will do that. But I think comic shops could go to back issues only, and then just a bunch of merchandise. Mm-hmm. And you'll probably see a lot of more games.
And those shops exist.
Yeah.
I've been to those shops.
But I think that might become the norm. Yeah. If singles go away. I could see a lot of comic shops getting by on that, especially if they host game nights and things
honestly,
like that.
I got no problem with that.
No.
Like, I don't know if you...
It keeps them around.
Like, you don't have the same thing with comic shops that you do with conventions, do you? Where, like, it better just be comics? Like, I like comic shops that are mostly comics, but I don't think it's bad to have just a pop culture store.
No. I mean, if it's calling itself a comic book shop, I would like it to be...
If it says comics in the title of the shop, sure.
I would like it to be like William's shop is like he has a lot of stuff that's not comics, but it's comic figurines. But I don't care if you have like a Terminator figurine or like you know things like that. But like within that realm, I could see that being where they go.
I think it's interesting this will be the last thing I say because we're out of time.
Yeah.
And then you can get final thoughts if you have them. Thanks for bringing this topic up. I think it's really interesting comparing like the comic book industry to other industries that are very quickly phasing out physical media. Diamond is a single company, and it seems to be the only thing that is stopping this from going the direction that movies and video games are going. Mm-hmm. More and more I'm hearing people giving folks like me crap, I've talked about this, for continuing to buy physical media. It's antiquated, it's not what we do anymore, you're taking up all the space in the house, in your house, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. You don't hear that with comics yet.
No.
And you still have more people than not that would prefer to have a physical copy. And I've said this 1,000 times, but I don't like it when people talk about video games and movies like they're the same thing as having a comic book in your hand. Because,
it's not a different experience.
You might want to collect it and have it on your shelf, and that's a different experience, like being able to walk over and be like, here's what I have, and it's alphabetized, and you can show people what you have. But the experience is exactly the same. If I pop in a Blu-ray, I'm having the same experience as if I press a button. And I still have to press a button, even if I put in, Blu-ray. So I don't understand when people don't make the distinction. I think that's weird. And so it makes sense to a degree that it's happened slower. Mm-hmm. But the reason it's happened as slow as it has is because Diamond is trying to keep those accounts.
Yeah, and I've never thought of it like that. But of course Diamond goes away.
Well, they may not.
Diamond becomes just Comixology.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just not sure.
I guess they do the statues and stuff as well.
Yeah. I mean, like they have other stuff they distribute, but they wouldn't be making as much money. They would lose accounts, and a lot of their smaller accounts would go away.
Well, and if that happens, Diamond will lose that monopoly, right? Like they no longer have a stranglehold on the industry. Everything they do, other people can do too. You will see other companies selling all the things Diamond sells.
And I don't completely understand Diamond's relationship with Comixology, because Comixology is an Amazon company, and so I don't totally get that. So it's not like they're making a bunch of money with digital, but as far as I understand it, they're the reason that we've kept the prices the way we have. That's how I understand. Maybe I'm wrong about that. It's been a lot of years since I looked into that, but when it started, I was looking into that. But anyway, so if I'm wrong about that, then some of this conversation is moot, and I have no idea why they've kept it the same price day and date. I mean, some of that I'm sure is because international markets will pay it.
Yeah. Well, and we both know people internationally who have to cross Sahara deserts to get to a comic shop and then pay $8 for a single issue.
Precisely. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to say about your
topic?
I
didn't have a specific. I just kind of wanted a general. I feel like it's nice to check in on the idea of comic shops every once in a while.
Absolutely.
Just to kind of see where everything is.
Impossible to predict, because everything I thought 10 years ago is not where it's gone.
10 years ago I assumed.
But that's because I thought day and date would only stay the same price for about 6 to 12 months, and that means that there was a part of that of the politics of that I didn't understand.
In 2010, I assumed comic book stores are almost completely a thing of the past by 2020. I would be surprised if we have much less comic stores in 2020 than we did in 2010.
Yeah, I mean, some of them were closing during the recession.
Some of them were
I think we're in
for that
better shape than we were.
And bad business and things like that. But
well, and we've lost box stores that have probably paved the way for more independent comic shops. Wouldn't you say? After what happened with Hastings, especially.
But yeah.
Good topic. Do you have a rant today, sir?
I do.
What would you like to complain about?
Just a real minor rant.
Okay.
Books, and now I'm seeing it with comic books that have pictures from a movie or the movie poster as the cover. Stop it.
Yeah.
No one likes that. Everyone it's never failed. If I go to a bookstore with anyone and they pick up a copy of a book and it's got the movie poster or a picture from the movie as the cover, they're like, I don't want the movie version.
Yeah.
No one likes it. And in my entire life it's been like that. I've never known anyone... you'll buy it because it's the only one that's there, and especially right when the movie comes out. Those are the only copies that the stores tend to have.
Yeah.
But I'm now seeing it with comics. We're reprinting... there's one with Aquaman that really annoys me because it's Throne of Atlantis, but it has a different title. It's called War for the Throne. And it's got a picture of a movie Aquaman on the cover. But inside is the exact same as if you bought the Throne of Atlantis trade. It's ridiculous.
Well, they did that when they reprinted that first issue of Byrne's World of Krypton.
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah.
With the Krypton series. Which, by the way, no one is talking about anymore.
Yeah,
it's getting a season 2, but I don't
really?
hear anyone talking about it.
I forgot that existed.
Me too. I watched 4 or 5 episodes, maybe less. I keep forgetting that's even a thing. I'm going to go back to it and watch it for the 19 people that will click on that video because no one's talking about it.
Sure.
Anyway.
But no, it annoys me. Not a major rant, just...
That's my rant. Why is that a thing?
Just,
anyway, I'm kidding.
No, it's awful, and I hate it. And we should stop doing it. And I've never known anyone that likes that in my entire life. Like, even when I was a kid, I remember people complaining about this. But now it's seeping into comics, and I don't like that either. I can't think of any other major ones. I think Ghostbusters did one. I think Ghostbusters did that reprint of the arc where the Ghostbusters disappear, and it's Janine and the girl from Extreme Ghostbusters. I think they had a photo cover from the girls from the movie, I think.
Yeah, I think they did.
That's obnoxious. Go away with that. I don't need that. Just get out of here. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants, especially if you're collecting it, like, then they don't match. They do it with Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones have the covers with the... I don't want those. I don't want the TV show covers. Get out of here.
So, I have a theory for you.
Yeah?
Because the inherent in
Are people dumb? They just look at it and they're like, I can't... Well, it says that that's what it is, but I'll see a picture of what I know, therefore...
Inherent in your complaint is the idea that nobody likes it, therefore it can't be selling any better than just the regular cover would. It's just the only one you have in print right now, so that's why people are buying it. Mm-hmm. My question is the picture there because movies are popular and are thought of, even though this is dumb, as a superior medium to everything else? And so maybe they'll sell more copies of the book, even though you don't think that's what's going on, or is it to sell the movie? Because I think that's what it is. I think it's just get those pictures everywhere you can get them, and so it's the reverse of what we think it is. I think the book is selling the movie before the movie's selling the book.
Sure.
Right?
But it's annoying when you go to thrift bookstores and oh, I have that book I want. Oh, but it's the movie cover.
Why else would we retitle Do Androids Dream to Blade Runner, which is the worst thing? This is the most egregious of those I've ever seen.
I don't think we've done that with Game of Thrones yet. I think we've kept all of those books saying Song of Ice and Fire because the series is not called The Game of Thrones. That's just the first book.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done that with that yet. But I've seen that with other things too, not just not just Blade Runner. I've seen a couple of.
But you knew that about Blade Runner, right?
Yeah. And they're still doing it.
I hate that.
They're still doing it. But we also
stop it.
We also I guess it's one thing if you put the Blade Runner poster on the cover.
It's even worse with Blade Runner because it didn't mean anything in the movie either.
Yep. Or you also see the weird. I think one of the weirdest ones is when we will reprint a short story collection. Like we did this with Minority Report. When Minority Report came out, we reprinted a short story collection that was titled something different. But we just called it Minority Report. We put a picture of Tom Cruise on the front. That's also feel okay.
I mean, maybe it's both. Maybe it's we think we might sell some copies of that, but we also just want those images.
At least you know what? I say it's weird. I guess it makes more sense with a short story. You don't know what book the short story is in.
Yeah.
You put on the cover. This is a movie coming. I guess that makes sense. But no, I don't like those, and I hate seeing them in used stores.
Yeah.
When it's that's the only copy they have. I don't want that. I want.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be pretentious, but I kind of want my literature and my film a little separated.
Yeah, and also side rant, unless
they're connected in the first place. Obviously, I don't have a problem with movie, books.
Yeah.
You know.
But also side tangent while I'm talking about book covers. If you publish science fiction novels, don't just put a spaceship. It's what you're all doing. You've been doing it for 15 years now. Stop it. They all look boring and terrible and nothing.
I'm sorry, can I argue with you?
They look exactly the same.
Can I argue with you on this? No, we've been doing this for 50 years.
You think we've been doing it? No. When you go back to the 80s, look at 80s covers, you're seeing dudes on planets with sexy ladies and aliens and
go back to the 60s and 70s though, man. You will see
it's a lot just a rocket ship.
Yeah.
No,
we were already doing that.
No, you're
or
wrong.
space station.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. They've always sucked.
Yeah.
They've always sucked. Can we make good ones? Can we make? I hate it. I hate it when I'm like, this looks kind of like, what is this? Oh, it's a spaceship on the cover. Oh, this one too? Oh, this one. Oh, they're all spaceships! We get it. It's in space. Give me something that tells me anything about the what's inside, right?
I will show you my science
a lot of times
fiction.
it looks like they're really good artists, right? Like they could do something really cool.
Yeah. I'll show you my paperback collection.
Yeah.
Goes back a lot farther, and there's a lot of that. Yeah.
I mean, it goes up and down, but I feel like right now we're in a place where like every science fiction is just the opening of Star Wars. It's just a ship and another ship, maybe.
I would make the argument that most publishers are bad at cover art.
I would make the argument most publishers have always been bad at cover art.
They're bad at cover art.
It's so depressing. Anytime
And
I go
hear
back,
writers constantly
because they have no
how
input.
That
They
is
get
not
no
what
input.
that is not what I would put on that.
Yeah. There's a whole thing Jim Butcher talks about that because on the cover. So originally the covers of Dresden Files are the worst thing ever. It's like a window and a moon because it's a werewolf story. And I guess there's a house featured in it at some point. But then they start reprinting them with better covers.
Who has ever bought a book because of that? There's a house.
Yeah. Although I will tell you the wild cards, the more recent printings, they're cool.
Yeah,
They're gorgeous.
are. They're gorgeous.
I love them.
Mm-hmm.
So they reprinted all the Dresden Files books. Now they have a guy with a long black trench coat and a hat. And
he said that's not what he looks like.
he does not wear a hat. Anywhere in the books, he does not wear a hat. And Jim Butcher, people have asked Jim Butcher about this. He's like, I don't know. Like they think coat means wizard and hat means detective, so you'll inherently know wizard detective.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So anyways,
so real quick, my rant is maybe an obvious, predictable thing. We just had Thanksgiving. We just had Black Friday. We did a thing this year that I like with Black Friday, but which is not how rants usually start. But it makes me think that it really is time to completely, finally retire that. And that is...
Black Friday?
It's time to retire Black Friday.
I agree.
It's time to completely retire Black Friday. And I never had a huge problem with Black Friday before. I will admit, I kind of enjoy shopping.
On Black Friday?
Just in general.
Oh, okay.
But just as a person that likes to shop, I can kind of see the appeal of something like Black Friday. But the issue I have with it is, of course, how ruthless and cutthroat people can be, with the fact that we kept, like, opening earlier and earlier to where we got to in the middle of Thanksgiving.
Like
and
7 o'clock Thanksgiving Day.
You've got people who, and sometimes would stay open the rest of the day. Like, you've got, like, most places don't do that, but some places did do that. There's a thing with GameStop, because I can't bring up retail without complaining about GameStop, where GameStop, pat themselves on the back for 2 or 3 years about how great they were for closing on Thanksgiving to make sure that their employees could spend time with their families, and then they came up with some kind of stupid explanation for why they were why they were opening again on Thanksgiving as of like last year. Mm-hmm. So last year and this year, both they started opening again on Thanksgiving, and they claimed that it was because the employees asked them to, which is preposterous. Who would ask for that?
Who's turning down a free day off?
That's ridiculous. Yeah, like maybe there are a couple people just like, I'd like some extra hours, but you can't tell me that by popular demand of our employees, given everything else we know about GameStop. So anyway, I don't want to just throw them under the bus. There are other places that are like
they're
that
well
as
under
well.
the bus. You're not throwing them. They're just under the bus.
They're just there already. You know, they can take themselves out, but they've not done anything to do that. Anyways, so... Whoa, what did I just drop?
That's the router.
What happened? Oh, alright, well, we don't need internet for shooting this. We'll need it for posting later.
That's true.
But, anyway, wow, that's never
I'm
happened.
getting so rough on that desk.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry, desk! Anyway.
Just everything falls over.
This year...
What's crazy is they probably didn't pick it up, and to the audience were reacting to nothing. We're just like, what was that?
No, it certainly did. Anyway, so, what do you think? If you're listening right now, what the hell are they? So, where was I going with all
about
this?
GameStop and that you weren't throwing them under the bus.
I know. Because they're just
already
under the bus. Yeah.
I'm
just this passionate about this. My router is under the bus.
The opening Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. So we kept backtracking it where we were opening earlier and earlier that it dipped into Thanksgiving Day. Where we've gotten to now is that for some stores, it's Black Friday like 2 weeks before Black Friday. And that's what the internet has been doing with Cyber Monday for the last 3 or 4 years at least, where like
in some retail locations there's already Cyber Monday,
which is preposterous. You'll see it's like no, that's the opposite of brick and mortar. You'll see. I can make a rant about that all by itself.
I complain that comics are never on sale on Black Friday or Cyber Monday on Amazon.
Yeah.
Never anything I want is on sale for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. It's ridiculous.
I've bought trades on sale. I think.
Have you?
I think. I don't know. Anyway,
maybe like Civil War and Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, you just mean things that are like
yeah, like right now in the middle, like in the
right.
yeah.
You're assuming I bought Civil War.
I'm not assuming you bought those. I'm assuming those are the ones that.
So you said maybe these. No, I'm kidding.
Those are the ones that would be on sale.
For a while now, you've seen banners that are like Cyber Monday all weekend. Well, that's not possible. Monday is 24 hours. But I like that the internet went that way, where it was like, look, when the Christmas season starts, we're going to start putting stuff on sale because we know people are going to buy more stuff. Why does it need to be a single day, and why does it need to be the day after Thanksgiving? Like, why do we need that much more stress in our lives, right? Like, and I know what some of you are thinking. Well, Cap, you don't have to have that stress in your life. In your life, just don't go. But when you have like these amazing deals and you're on a budget and you're trying to get like, it was a bigger problem before we had the internet, of course,
before Amazon,
and it was even a bigger problem before Cyber Monday was all weekend. But now that we're getting smarter about it, and we just have sales for the start of the Christmas season, let's just get rid of the days. Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's not have Black Friday and Cyber Monday. We're still using those terms because they sell, because we know what they mean, and I get that. I think it's time to retire them. I think it's time to just look, if we're going to start trying to sell Christmas 2 or 3 months before Christmas, let's just start putting stuff on sale. I gotta say something positive about Target. Target's been doing really cool sales lately, and that's not a place I ever used to see a lot of sales at. Like, occasionally you'd see things, but, like, they did a buy two, get one on DVDs. Like...
Oh, yeah, that was just a sale.
It was just a sale, and it was outside of this Black Friday. This was, like, 2 months ago. Yep. Maybe a month and a half ago. And,
it was Halloween weekend.
That's what it was.
I know that because I stumbled in there for something a couple of days later, and I bought the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Because I didn't own that.
I took advantage of it twice. I went in and bought 3 movies twice. Because they were really good sales. And they also had...
And it wasn't like a buy two, get one section. It was all of them.
It was all of them. And video games were in that too. And a couple other things.
That's
like
incredible.
It was incredible. And Black Friday, you wouldn't think a big box store like that would have very good sales. All board games, half off.
That's pretty good.
Straight up half off.
That's pretty good.
And
that's always been my thing with Black Friday.
They did several other things too. And they didn't have just the one sale. They had and they had a bunch of like single items that were just really well slashed. You know.
Anytime I ever like have gone to a Black Friday thing, it's always like, again, maybe it's just my things, but it's always like, oh, like 0.7% off. Why did I come here? Yeah. This isn't a sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is Black Friday? It's supposed to be insane.
When Walmart would be like slashing prices, it used to be $3.50. It used to be $3.15. Now it's $3.09.
Do you know that companies about a month before Black Friday will raise the price on things so they can say the discount is higher? They'll raise it from 20 to 35 and then give it to you for 17.
Definitely not doing that.
Yeah.
But like I went to the mall a week before Black Friday, and it felt like Black Friday. I mean, price-wise, not people shopping-wise.
Not like Satanic Mass.
Right. I mean, it was busy, but it wasn't insane. And it's just, if we normalize sales around Christmas, people won't lose their minds. They'll just be smart, figure out when and where they are, make it so that you don't have to, don't do doorbusters, don't make it to where you have to get up at 5 a.m. to go. And, like, you're going to make just as much money or more, I would think. I mean,
the doorbuster sales in particular are usually where they do the, like... This is a $1,000 TV
crazy
for
things.
$600,
yeah,
and things like that. Or maybe even less.
Maybe you can't do it all day long, but okay, do it at 1 in the afternoon. Like say it's say it's not when the doors open. Say it's at this time we have it for this price, and then we don't have it for that price anymore. Although that might be a really bad idea because you get to the register and never mind. Maybe that's a bad idea. So maybe the doorbuster thing is okay, but does it have to always be just on Black Friday? Could we do it some other time?
What about
spread it out so that people aren't killing each other?
What about? So that Friday to that Monday, we'll call it Blackout Weekend.
Should I go get the thing that I bought for Black Friday at Target?
What did you buy for Black Friday?
I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go get the crazy thing
I'm gonna pitch Blackout Weekend.
Okay, so Blackout Weekend.
So no one likes their family. No one wants to. Oh, that. Yes. Oh, that's why it was so cheap. I was like, that's a weird thing to put a sale. God, it's so big.
It's huge.
Just hold on. I just want size comparison for the audience.
It's enormous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, but you can see why I couldn't help myself, right? That was $50. It was on sale for $25.
Ginormous.
Ginormous.
I thought I was trying to do like a Gino thing. Or a Dino thing.
Look, I love Velociraptors, okay? And I just could not help myself.
Sure. Anyways.
Eric was not remotely surprised when I sent him the picture of this.
I didn't realize it was that big.
It's huge.
But I mean, I'm not. $25, like, of course.
When we get done here, he's going to be like, what is wrong with you? Why did you buy that?
Your first piece for the Raptor room.
Yeah.
But no, I'm pitch Blackout. I'm pitch Blackout weekend. You just, nobody likes their family. You're all gonna get like drunk, like blackout drunk, and then like you just stumble into these stores, and you just stay there for the weekend to get away from your family. And, and there's always amazing sales.
We're not encouraging people to drive there drunk. Just drop off your drunk uncle.
Well, no,
for the sale.
No. You get blackout drunk and then you wake up. You're more hangover. But you're like, and then you just stumble.
Hangover Friday.
Yeah, Hangover Friday. I mean, it could be called that. How many people do you think you get?
Blackout Friday.
Blackout Friday. When you get blackout drunk.
That's really funny. When sales are now a drinking game. Anyway.
Oh my God,
we're
that'd
not
be amazing.
really advocating.
Also, we should have really good sales, but behind like a barrier, where like it's like a quiz. Or like a drinking contest.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Or like a mind puzzle where like it's Sudoku.
Win a killer prize or a killer prize. Yeah.
So something like an Excalibur sword situation where it's like you put your hand on it, like they've randomized like somehow like finger indents. So like if it opens, you get a $5,000 TV for like $2,000 or something like that.
You know what I want to see? We're running off the rails. We got to end this video. But you know what I want to see? I want to see alternative eBay auctions. Where it's not an auction anymore. The first person who gets that trivia question right, they get to win that item. It's no longer about...
You'll see actual trivia questions.
There's no sniping that. That's true. No, you'd see hard ones that you couldn't just look up on Wiki.
Yeah, yep.
We're thinking. Yep. We're going to change the world, you guys. Anyway, thanks.
So Halloween, Easter, Black Friday. We're working our way around.
Through all of the major federal holidays. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We sure appreciate it.
Not federal.
Hope you enjoyed.
It's ridiculous.
Black Friday.
It still makes me angry.
No, you're right. It probably should be. Anyway, everybody, thanks as always for watching. Sure appreciate it. If you are just watching this video, thanks for stopping in. And if you are watching on the playlist, let it keep rolling. We're going to go now into the comic vault. And we got some Spider-Man to talk to you about. So stick around, will you? And in the meantime, thanks for watching. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And we'll see you again next time.